Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well, and welcome to another update on Bitcoin. In this video, we're going to talk about what could be Bitcoin's next important move. As you can see here, Bitcoin's nice rally this past week has taken it almost to our second Wave 3 target. In fact, we missed our Wave 3 target by just, look at this over here on the right-hand side. Today's high, as you can see here on the right-hand side, we made a high today of 10,199.85. We literally missed our Wave 3 target, the next Wave 3 target, by 0.25 points, as you can see there. Because as you may recall from the previous video, our Wave 3 target was 10,200. So I mentioned in the previous video that based on the Elliott wave counts, the next Wave 3 target was going to be 10,200, and we literally missed it by 0.25 points. Bottom line is, what could be the next important big move here for Bitcoin? I think there's a high probability, guys, that the next important big move is what we're seeing here on this chart. This is a line break chart, by the way. Take a look at this. A line break chart calculates the price slightly differently than a candlestick chart. I've mentioned this before in my previous videos. Now, here's what's interesting. Take a look at this line break chart. Notice how many green bars we've had so far since January. In fact, look at this. The first green bar after the reds. So the last red bar there on the line break chart was in December. Then we start the green bars on the 18th of December, as you can see right there. So that was the first green bar on the 18th of December. And since then, guys, since December or mid-December, we've had continuous green, green, green all the way up to January, all the way to February. In fact, look at this, guys. Green all the way from December all the way to February so far until now. We've not yet had a red bar. And notice that we're just potentially going to start a red bar here on the right-hand side. It's not confirmed yet, by the way. It's a current bar, so it's not confirmed just yet. But you might say, statistically, and on the balance of probabilities, we're overdue now. We're way overdue for a red bar, for a negative bar, okay? In fact, let me show you just an example of this. Notice in 2019, take a look at these rallies we had in 2019, and take a look at these green bars. Series of green bars all the way, as you can see here, from April all the way to almost June. And then finally, after this series of green bars, we have a negative bar. So in other words, a pullback, a retracement occurred here on that red bar there. Same thing happened, as you can see, after that. Again, series of green bars all the way up to essentially that was the middle of summer. And then finally, we had that pullback, the retracement bar that you can see there. So I would say, I think you'll agree with me on this, that perhaps statistically, on the balance of probabilities, we're overdue now for, after this series of green bars on the line break chart, we're probably overdue now for some kind of retracement or pullback to support. And I think it's quite probable that we're going to start this pullback very soon in the next, I think potentially in the next 5 to 7 days. So let's go on that daily chart. I want to go back to the candlestick chart now. So this is the candlestick chart, and let's just expand this chart a little bit so we can see this properly. And I think it's quite probable, guys, that if we're starting the pullback as of today, and of course it's not confirmed yet, we haven't actually closed yet below some important support. Put it this way, if Bitcoin can actually close today or tomorrow below the lows of today, or let's say below 9727, let me just draw that level there. So if Bitcoin can close today, whether on a daily chart or an 8-hour chart, if we can close below 9727, that actually might be the first trigger, the first catalyst for a pullback that might take us down to the 21 moving average, that blue line you see there. Let me explain to you why that level is going to be very important. Let me show you this. This is the chart of Bitcoin back in 2019 when it started a parabolic rise. And notice what happened in the spring and the summer of last year. Notice after a series of the blue bars, the rallies, we have a pullback usually in a wave 3. Again, guys, it's quite important to appreciate that in a wave 3 move, which I think is what we are at right now, we usually get a pullback to the 21 moving average, which is what we can see here on this chart. Notice the pullbacks come down to that yellow line, which is the 21 exponential moving average on that chart. All right, guys. So usually in wave 3 rallies and major uptrends, we see big move up and then a pullback to the 21 moving average, the 21 daily moving average, as we can see right there. Then notice that Bitcoin actually holds this level. So it holds that support at the 21 EMA, and then it rallies off from there. And then what does it do? Has another pullback to the 21 moving average, holds that level. As a matter of fact, it managed to bounce back from that level. And then after another move up higher, it has another pullback to the 21 moving average. As a matter of fact, I have another line here. The red line is the 34 simple moving average. So I put that there because that's also sometimes a level that may get tested. So essentially we have the 21 and the 34 EMA here being tested here. And then we have the next rally phase starting. And guess what? We have another pullback to the 21 moving average and bounces off from there again. So last year we had several pullbacks to the 21 moving average, and I think on the balance of probabilities here, very likely I think we could have another pullback here to the 21 moving average. By the way, you may remember we had one recently in January. Take a look at this over here. In January we had a pullback to the 21 moving average. At no point did price close below it. As a matter of fact, it held this level and then bounced off from there higher. And I think it's quite probable, guys, that we're overdue now for some kind of retracement or pullback now to at the very least, to the 21 moving average here. Now, the question is, when is that going to start? Because we don't want to call it a top just like that. We want to see some evidence of a potential reversal. Again, for me, I would like to see, first of all, two things to happen before we can start seeing this pullback. In other words, two things need to happen to increase the probability of a pullback here. First, again, as I mentioned before, we need to see a close below, at the very least below 9,727, or we could say the lows of today. And that actually might start as a catalyst for a move down to the 21 moving average, the blue line we're seeing here. And also, Bitcoin needs to remain below 10,000. So that's the second criteria. The reason why I say Bitcoin has to remain below 10,000 for the pullback to become probable, because I think if Bitcoin were to go back above 10,000 again, that would mean the odds would increase for another major rally leg higher. As long as Bitcoin remains below 10,000 on the daily time frame chart and can move below 9,727, that increases the odds, increases the probability for a move towards the 21 moving average, which currently is sitting. The 21 EMA today is 9,300 approximately. Now, it might change tomorrow, by the way, because the moving averages will start evolving and changing with time. Bottom line is I think a pullback down to the 21 moving average here at 9,300 is probable. And again, it's not confirmed yet, but if we're starting the pullback today, that means the corrective pullback could complete in this time zone we're seeing here, in this time window. So I have a time window, as you can see here on the right-hand side, this blue and magenta box there. So that means that potentially, if we start a pullback from today, once the pullback gets confirmed, by the way, as long as Bitcoin remains below 10,000 and can break today's lows, we could start a pullback into this zone and complete the pullback between the 13th of February to the 16th of February. All right, guys, that's my time zone, the time resistance zone here, as you can see. So again, I have the correction or pullback here completing potentially between the 13th to the 16th of February, and then we start potentially the next major leg higher and continuing this uptrend higher. By the way, guys, before I finish the video, I just want to mention something quickly, because some people may be confused by what I'm saying here, and they might assume what I'm trying to say here is that I'm shorting Bitcoin as of here into this level, into the 21 moving average. That is not at all what I'm saying, because I am not a counter trend trader. I don't go against the trend. There are some situations where I might want to go against the trend, yes, but this is not one of them. So again, I'm not a counter trend trader, and I don't want to go against this major trend. What I'm saying is that if a trader is looking to get long again, if a trader is looking to load up or add to his existing long position, then that trader, what he could do is wait for a pullback into the averages, into the 21 moving average, for example, and then start loading up into this support zone. Well, time resistance and support zone. And of course, using a stop loss to protect against risk. All right, guys, hope this video helps. If it has, please give it a thumbs up, and also please subscribe for future video updates. Bye for now.